Okay. News and notes time. Just because you have an electric car doesn't mean you can't stop for gas, especially if you live in Northern California. Alexa St. John at Business Insider gets to the meat of the story, which I'm sure is the first real meat at Taco Bell in decades. San Diego. San Diego.
I haven't been there in a while, but I love it.
As you eat your chicken fingers, as healthy all around here. A San Diego-based startup, Chargenet, chose a Taco Bell restaurant near San Francisco for the first of 6 fast-charging EV stations this week. The solar-powered stations can provide a 100-mile charge in 20 minutes or less for about $20. Chargenet says Tom Douglas, the COO of the franchise company, stated that they liked being a trailblazer in the EV public charging space. I think it offers something that you can't get anywhere else in QSR. Douglas said, referring to the quick service restaurant. It also attracts some new customers who may not have given us a try before now and know that in 20 minutes they can come charge their car and have lunch. If it works, expect to see more. The franchise outfit Diversified operates in another 300 Taco Bells as well as 28 Arby's. Arby's is a little bit better than Taco Bell. Right now, they have 120 restaurants set to add EV stations in the coming months. This kind of innovation we can expect to see for the electric car charging market, which is expected to reach more than $270.5 billion by 2030.
So we're going to be discussing our take on future trends in a moment. Obviously, one of them is the sad decline of the manual transmission. But one maker, despite being that who makes a lot of boring race cars these days, is committed to allowing you to row your own, sort of. So Nico Demata at The Drive shared a recent conversation with the BMW M division's Frank van Miel, also no relation to Taco Bell. The M product boss said that the M3, M4, and the new M2 will all be keeping manuals as an option. The M3 and M4 are probably done by the end of 2028, but the M2 gets to keep it all the way until 2030. Why? You crazy people like the listeners of this show actually buy these things. And Van Meel said the customer demand is the only thing keeping manual transmissions alive. BMW VP of Sales, Timo Rech, said that M engineers will ask them why they need a manual transmission when it's slower than the automatics, and the answer is always the same. The M customers want manuals. Tamada cautions this will all go away with the impending all-electric M lineup, so get them while you can.
It's great. I'm glad. I recently purchased a standard transmission vehicle that is very new to hopefully help out. But anyway, finally, news you can use. New Jersey Motorsports Park, NJMP, our home track, is getting a repave, which I didn't think the pavement was that bad, so I'm glad to hear that. But but they are also, this is the Thunderbolt, the non-Don course, the better course. It's due to start in October of next year, and it's not just a new surface. They're going to be addressing the Turn 1 runoff area, expanding its capabilities of the course. Dr. Brad Prowell, senior engineer at Advanced Materials Services, working with the track's drivers, flaggers, and veterans for 2 new configurations, redesigning the curbing in key areas, and the one proposal is called the clip. Let me share a screen here for those of you who are watching the YouTube channel. So this one here, this top one here, is called the clip. And basically this is, I believe, turn 7. You come by the condos here and you just kind of eliminate the octopus head. This is the famed Devil's Tail. If you ask me, it is the best turn on the track. So I kind of hate it. And then there's this other one here, which eliminates the Devil's Tail, but comes through around, so you still get a majority of the last turn that really matters, the one before the straight. So this one has an almost 90-degree turn, cutting off the octopus head. This one eliminates the Devil's Tail, but still uses the second half of the octopus head. I don't know. How do you all feel?
I think they both make it worse. I think
agree.
that people who are super serious and want to go super fast don't like that those other corners slow them down because they're highly technical and have to be done just right. So I can see the aggro people saying, yeah, these are better, they're faster. But I think you miss out on the technical stuff that separates the better drivers from those who are not so good.
It also might depend on what this is used for so many different kinds of racing. So is there, I mean, at least bikes, but is there maybe there's something that drives that not just endurance, but
I don't know.
cars that don't go around corners well.
I think IMSA, I don't hate it if they leave the Octopus as an option, because the idea is that the whole multi-configuration concept, and then it's never the same course. The handful of times I've raced there, the Octopus head is actually a great place to make a lot of passes.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Well, it's funny because I think this top one, the one that they call the clip, with that strong 90-degree turn, it's actually reducing your run up to the straight. So
I agree.
Might be slower in the straight.
Because that's a hard turn. Because normally that's part of the S's. Yeah. So Mental brings up a good question. Did they say, maybe I just missed it? Are they? They're not taking away.
Oh no,
the Octopus.
multi-configuration.
Got it. Right,
Mental was absolutely right.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Configuration options. So
All
there.
right.
And JMP. I'm okay with configuration options.
Sure. Just as long as we don't choose it. Lemons doesn't choose any of them.
Sure. Someday maybe I'll go to
they won't.
something.
No way.
No.
Lemons would definitely never choose. Like they would choose the slowest option configuration they possibly can that results in a longer course too. So
yeah, the longer course I think is key because of the higher car counts that Lemons is typically dealing with. The amount of space on track is really important,
especially in New Jersey.
Yeah,
that's a popular race. All right,
Chrissy,
can I get a segue, please?
Sponsors, we love our sponsors.
Oh, that was awesome.
That's from the modulating the gas series.
I just kind of pulled that one out of I don't know where. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm off my game now. All right. If you've been paying attention, Lemons completely redesigned their website in a coordinated effort as they release their 2023 schedule, and that includes the rally schedule. The big deal this time around on the docket, ending on July 4th, where they launch all those cars off of a cliff at Glacier Bay, is the Alaska Rally. If you don't have one and you want to do a rally, you're going to need a questionable car. And as we say constantly, a great place to go to make questionable decisions or perfectly fine decisions is racingjunk.com, where you can find odd yet interesting vehicles like this 1977 Pontiac Grand Prix.
I love this thing.
Yeah. Now
it's the wheels decisions that really do it to me.
Yeah.
Desktop is beautiful.
Oh, is it really?
It's beautiful. Oh, look at that car.
Oh, okay. Then as soon as I ended, it stopped.
No, it didn't.
I got it.
All right. I was actually trying to use the ad to do this, but there it is. It's a gorgeous Pontiac Grand Prix SJ, one of the longer hoods ever produced. Not the, but one of that. This is the heyday of the 70s personal luxury coupes with those little bitty 15-inch wheels. This thing is actually awesome. It runs and drives, needs a little bit of work, but it's located in Oregon, so I don't think it'd be that rusty. And anything made in the 70s, you're actually going to start the rally with positive points, which is a good place to be. So as we always tell everybody, check out racingjunk.com. It is free to post. It is free to browse. It is way more positive than anything on your doom scrolling social media feeds. Racingjunk.com.
Mental, I think you buried the lead here. $2,000. That's kind of a smoking deal.
And if it's an SJ, it actually has the 400 cubic inch, 180 horsepower V8.
I'm guessing on the SJ based on the script on the front fender, because it says it's down. There's looks like 2 levels of writing.
Let's see if I can zoom in. Let's see how.
Well, if it were,
I may
LJ,
just say, oh, you're right. It just says Grand Prix.
Oh.
Okay. Then it might have the 4.9 liter 135 horsepower engine.
It
That's the base
might.
model.
It might
Who knows?
also have the Pontiac 350, which is technically a big
Yeah.
block.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Hey, you know what? Bad choices make good stories. So
True.
Absolutely.
tell us all about it.
Yeah.
Upcoming races.
It's about to
AER.
scream.
Well, you have your
Bye.
headphone that's close next to your head and you're at work. So there's that. AER is at Mid-Ohio. You know the drill, 40 cars, 20 BMWs.
Oh, boring.
Boring.
So
Wow.
boring. 2 Miatas, 2 Hondas, 6 Porsches, and an X-Ratty?
What is an X-Ratty?
McCore XR4 Ti.
Oh.
Oh, those poor guys. Oh, well.
I don't know. There's some turbo Ford people in this world that know how to squeeze some horsepower out of those cars. Some of them are.
Well, then they
listeners, too.
break. The ones who don't
And
squeeze
they-
the
and
horsepower
they-
are the ones
yeah,
that most
yeah,
likely
yeah,
to have a
yeah.
chance of running. Yeah. That's a shame. You're not going to see anybody. Oh, well.
Oh,
Much.
well.
Listener feedback.
So from our rally recount on the YouTube, Keith M corrected me. He said, "No, Chris, you did not pronounce Kankamagas properly. I've lived in the state for 56 years and you get a huge fail, but you seem smart about other stuff." All right, Keith. This is the way I was taught to do it by my New Hampshire native relatives who've been there for a very, very long time, but you made me question it. So I went to the source. I went to the website for the highway itself, kankamagushighway.com. And here's how they say you should pronounce Kankamagas. Kankamagas, just like I said it the first time. So unless we can find some primary source material, which is some Native Americans, I think I've got it. And we may just have to agree to disagree on this one.
I feel like any,
Wow.
I feel like any Native Americans would be like, "Pound sand, white man, leave me alone."
We need to
I'll
put
just-
this link. This link has got to be there.
The link will be in the show notes.
This is going to
Absolutely.
create more argument online than is a hot dog a sandwich. What color's the dress? Yeah.
Which car is at fault for this incident?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. This is great. Many people try and put a second end in the word and say "kank on the
Which is-
mangas."
Kankamangas is the wrong way that a lot of people do say, and that's what I used to say when I was a child until my New Hampshire native relatives corrected me and said Kankamangas. So I remembered that because I prefer to pronounce things correctly if possible.
When I was a
Kankamagas
child, I spoke as
highway.com.
a child, but as I became a man, I pronounced Kankamangas.
No, there's no second N. You did it wrong.
I don't even try. I'm
good. Nope. All right,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh boy. So I
Kankamangas.
posted a
Sure.
"what you working on" and I put my soldering on the kitchen table, which Chrissy was very upset that I was soldering on the kitchen table, but I do it all the time, so it's not that big of a deal. And I was doing it to fix Jen's car, so she was okay.
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
your solder
Which
next
you
to my
did.
sandwich, right? No problem.
How'd it
there.
work?
It didn't.
Oh,
I didn't say it was right. I said I had no trouble. Anyway, I put cardboard down. Yeah, and Tyler Stank gave me a ton of crap, so don't think I didn't say. So anyway, John C wanted to know what I was using to make the wire labels. Those are the wire labels that came with the cheap ass stereo. So they were actually very nice. Just how I know I did it right.
But it still didn't work, so it's wrong. Chris, no?
Keith K was testing front brake pressures. It's a good thing to test and know that you have some. Yes, some
Mhm.
brakes. Good.
Cam L was on quote Pinstar V6 coil packs.
Sorry to hear that.
Ugh.
Oh. Randy K couldn't go to the races due to an injury, so his wife had him working on his honeydew list.
Can't be that
DJ
hurt. Come on.
Right?
DJ 914 said, "No car work for me, just family and work proposals." And much love to you, DJ 914, dealing with some family issues out there. Love you, man. I owe you a hug.
Tim N was helping restore power back to South Florida. Good for you, Tim.
Yeah, good for you. Corey D was beginning the reassembly of a BMW suspension.
John H was at a friend's engagement party.
Hungry Bill was chopping wood with the neighbors. I don't know
Oh.
whether that's a euphemism or he was actually chopping wood.
It's the second
Just
one.
gonna
He
go
showed
with
a
it.
he showed a picture. It's a wood pile.
We gotta do that.
Yep.
I understand.
David E was waiting outside for someone from Facebook Marketplace to pick up the set of Blizzaks I trash picked a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Now
That's
that
always
is some
fun.
Selling
savvy
something you trash
shopping.
picked. Good job.
Happy shopping, David.
Go ahead. You
Sorry.
read mine, so you can keep
I
going.
know. I was so excited by that one. I thought it was so funny.
Go ahead.
AJ was on drywall adding, hey, buy the big shop, they said. Just a little fixer-upper, they lied. Fortunately, once the new drywall's up, I can move on to the plumbing and the new furnaces. That'll be nice.
And you know what the
all right.
E1R top tip is when it comes to drywall, and we have all done drywall, Chris.
The checkbook is the best tool to do drywall.
That's right. Joseph K flew into Houston to teach his team how to rebuild a 6L80. I think you do that by throwing it out, don't you? I'm just not really sure.
The Stankinator was loading cars into storage, and I just was texting with him till this morning. He was on a bus to basic training.
Oh, okay.
Great. And James M was putting his race car back together after brake failure, Thompson. And we here, I'm sure all of the rest of you guys that know him are really happy to know he's okay. Car can be fixed. That was scary AF.
And sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And speaking of fix, Hungary, Bill took his time to email us a video of his fixed power windows. No more licking than twisting wires for him.
That's so much better when you're going through security checkpoints in Ukraine that you don't have to go, hang on, to get the window down.
Because in some of those security checkpoints, you start touching wires to the other, they're gonna get.
It's true. Don't touch the wires. Just back. Don't.
Yeah.
Well, do we have a sim racing report? Did sim racing happen? Or are we going?
It did happen, but that's okay.
Well, it did. Dave did it. Yeah. Sorry.
We don't know what happened.
Anyway.
No.
Hey, you know who
Maybe it
I
was in New
heard was
Hampshire
there
this
and dominated? Chrissy's mom.
Oh yeah.
That's what I heard.
Weird.
I don't know what really happened. That's just what I heard. Hi, Chrissy's mom.
We will take this time to say that while the number associated with it is probably bad to say out loud, it is a delightful and should be celebrated as a federal holiday because it is Chrissy's mom's birthday. I feel bad. I didn't send her cookies.
That would be interesting.
Is she still in the house? Like if I yell happy birthday, will she hear it?
No, everybody's gone. We would not be able to go through this podcast with what was happening with two small boys and my parents and my sister and brother-in-law and the Phillies game. And it was very loud in here.